Hi folks, welcome to or welcome back to Exposed, and if I'm welcoming you back and you like it here, I'd love it if you subbed and stayed. I'm going to do my answers to my questions on my Q&A video. Quick update. Yes, I'm still here. Hit a wall doing 106 miles an hour, not literally, but Fibro went into overdrive because everything went tits up all in one weekend, and it was like, wow, my body just was like, nope. So while I was in the middle of a fibro flare and either sleeping or watching TV, my headphones decided to die too, so I had to buy a new pair. But I've got pink ones now, which is cool. I've bought these like a little knitted thing to stop, you know, where they wear out when they're on the top of your head, and then I've got little covers on the ears to keep them from going. So hopefully these will last me a lot longer than the other pair, because it's like things aren't made to last anymore. Back in the day, do you know what I mean, you buy a washing machine and you could basically kick it up and down the street and it'd stay working. Nowadays you look sideways at them and they stop. So there's that. So I'm feeling much better. Thank you everyone for all the get well messages. It was so sweet, and I'm sorry I've missed a whole load of comments because my hands, they're a lot better now, but they were like 3 times the size. You couldn't see my knuckles, and it was like I couldn't do anything with them. I couldn't type at all. So I hearted everything to let you know that I'd seen it. So anyway, that's all that malarkey out of the way. Let's get into the Q&A, shall we? Bianca22382 says, have you ever been to the Netherlands? No, but I would love to go. I always get the impression that it's much quieter and cleaner than the UK. And yeah, the only places I've ever been is Ireland and France. I haven't been anywhere else, so I'd love to go places out of my bedroom. Would be one thing I'd like to do. Thank you for leaving the question, Bianca. Peg B says, I unsubbed from the YouTubers that I used to watch that added shorts. I just find those shorts constantly popping up too annoying. I can't be doing with them. And not only are they annoying, but they're that much smaller. So I've got a big screen because I've got shit eyesight. And then they make it even smaller. And then the way it is, you can't click on their channel to see who it is, and the writing's written all over everything, and then there's writing over writing, and you can't read it. And it's like, can you just leave it to TikTok? TikTok was over there doing its thing, and YouTube thought, we can do that. No, you can't. Give it up. J-Lo said I unsubbed as well. Shorts clog up my inbox and provide no value to me. No, they don't. Some of them are funny. I like the funny ones, but you have to scroll for days to see a funny one. And anyway, I just want to see the people I'm subbed to. I don't get much time to watch videos because I'm making videos. So I just want to see the ones I want to see. I don't want to see a whole load of nonsense scrolling past me. Rachel TK. Not Rachel Teak, as some people say. Questions. Can you send me a 99 ice cream cone? I used to get them from the ILAC Centre in Dublin and I miss them. Also some batch loaf. Then Walton's Music Store in Blanchardstown to get me a new tin whistle. I accidentally broke the one I got there. Also, you don't live in Ireland anymore, so never mind. And last of all, do you have a good recipe for coddle? I think you're just taking the piss, Rachel, is what I think. Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth Conroy. Please keep all questions easy as I'm a simpleton. But you are not. You're a very clever lady. Stop it. By the way, you're a nice looking lady. Thank you. Your neck is fine. You wouldn't say that if you had it, Elizabeth. It's the angle you're sitting at, plus lighting. Hugs. Thank you, sweetheart. You're always so nice to me. What did I say? Anything interesting? No, just kisses. Yeah, no, I'm working on it, but I know it's the way I'm sitting. See, when I'm talking straight on to people, nobody notices it. But anywho, no one's here for my neck. 12's my limit. I'm just about to go to sleep, so don't have any questions, but a Q&A would be good. I hope you slept well, hon. Elizabeth, how have you kept sane and with a great sense of humour living with a chronic illness? I know you might say because I have no choice, but real feelings, please. Well, A, yeah, Elizabeth, I have no choice. B, I live with 3 autistic people. So if I was to be upset, that'd upset them. So that's another reason. And the least thing will knock them off kilter. And it's the worst thing I ever think is for them to see how much I'm suffering on my face. My husband can read me like a book, but I don't ever admit to feeling as bad as I feel. I have cried in front of them, but I don't like them to see me crying. Basically, it's just that stupid sense of humour. You just put a spin on it and make a joke out of it, and that's the only thing you can do. If I was to sit here and actually think about the fact that I've been stuck in this room 12 years and that I'm most likely never going to get out of here, I'd just give up. I've directly opposite me, I've got a thing hanging on the wall. It's like tin or something, anyway, and it says hope, and I see that every day I wake up. And then on my wardrobe I have pictures of the little girl in Tanzania that I sponsor called Salome, and I look at her and I think she's got nothing. So even if I am stuck in a room, I have way more than she'll ever see in her lifetime. So I'm doing better than her, which is a horrible thing to say. But it's like, it's that thing. There is always somebody worse off than yourself. And I know people say, oh yeah, you can say that, but your feelings are still valid. That's how I cope. You know, I think, oh, I'm stuck in a bedroom, but I'm not homeless. You know, I'm in pain, but I've got all my, what are they called? Fibro fog, gotta love it. What are they called? Your arms and legs. I know you're all screaming at me now. Anyway, I've got them. That's the only way I cope. Is you have to look at the good things, because if you spent all your time looking at the bad things, you'd go insane. And see, that's another thing. People keep coming to this channel, leaving comments and saying, oh, you're miserable. If you weren't so miserable, you wouldn't be sick. You're miserable, you're jealous. If you weren't so jealous, you probably wouldn't feel so bad. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not jealous. I'm not angry. I'm not miserable. It's a reaction channel. I react to the videos. I turn them off. I don't give it another thought. I have a life, and this is something I do as a hobby to take my mind off the fact that I'm stuck in a room for 12 years and I most likely will never get out of it. I don't know. Obviously people don't know me. They don't know my sense of humour, and they watch a video where I'm ranting a bit and they think, oh, miserable old bag. No, I'm not actually. But hey ho, you'll never know, because they don't stick around long enough to find out. They watch 2 minutes of a video and go, meh. Well, fine. If you don't like me, bugger off somewhere else. But don't tell me that you don't like me before you go. I'm not asked. I don't care. I know people aren't going to like me. Nobody likes everybody. I've been recommended people to watch, and I've put them on, and I've been on like 2 minutes, and I'm like, no, where's the off switch? Because I can't cope with it. It's like I auditioned for a book, and the woman said to me, oh, you sound so tired. And I thought, if only you knew. And I said, I'm sorry, that's just the way I sound. You don't like that sound? That's great. Anyway, I went to look to see who she'd picked to narrate her book, and I'm like, you just sound like a robot. You sound like AI gone wrong. Her emphasis was on the wrong words. She paused in the wrong places, and it's like, so that's what you chose? Okay, fair enough. It's either that or it's the over the top. Please don't take offense to this, any of my American people. I love you all, you know that. But that over the top American shouty, I'm always happy thing. If I wanted someone to read me a book, I don't want that in my head. I want somebody a little bit calmer that's just going to tell me the story, but then that's me. Anyway, we've gone off tangent, haven't we? Thank you for the question, Elizabeth. Christine says, Q&A, yes. And can you give me and or other viewers a bit of background information about Lardy? Love to watch, but I have the feeling I miss a lot because I've no idea who she is. Thanks, Jules, and keep the Lisa videos coming. Did I give you that video? Yes, I did. I gave Christine the video I'd done with a bit of ins and outs about her, and she said thanks for that. Other than what was in that video, Christine, there isn't really much to tell. She's a Jewish single mother. She was married twice. And when she started YouTube, she was single with her son, living in, I was going to say Brooklyn then, living in Boston. And basically her mother kept her on an even keel and paid for everything. And Lardy had pocket money and she bought makeup and whatever. And then she tried to eke her way into the beauty YouTube thing by sending stuff to people, mainly Lisa D1, to get her name out there. And somehow she got over 10,000 subs. Then she moved because they were selling the building she was in. So she moved to this new place and she said it was a shithole, which it wasn't. And then she gave her mum earache to move to California because that's where HRH is. And she was obsessing over her and thought they'd be BFFs. And then her mother decided she didn't like California and she left in the middle of the night. And we all know why, because Lardy's a raging narc. And from there, she's gone downhill quickly. But like I said in my reply, if there's anything in particular you want to know, just drop a question anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter. I'll answer it. And thank you for the question. Chanel, I was just talking to you earlier, wasn't I? I'd love to see a Q&A. Tell us something about you that would surprise us. Would you consider a channel just for advice? I'd love your advice on some things and I'm afraid to ask. Oh, don't be afraid to ask anything, Chanel, at any point. And if it's private, you can always email me at chattoexposed@aol.com. And I need to look there. I haven't looked there in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So if you've emailed me and I haven't answered you, that's why I haven't looked yet. But you can send me an email. And anything you say is private, your email's private. Even if we fell out, I would never tell anybody who you were, where you were, anything like that. It's not in my nature. I'll tell you something that would surprise you. I abseiled off the Boomerang roller coaster in Butlins. I turned down Tom Jones for a drink. I actually turned down a Premier footballer as well because having no self-confidence, I thought he was joking when he asked me for my phone number, and he wasn't joking at all, but hey-ho. So I could have been a wag. The Boomerang is, I just looked it up before I came on here. It's 116.5 feet. And we had a friend on the fairground in Butlins when I worked at Butlins called Wolfie. And he used to do these stupid quizzes and polls and things every week in the fairground. And he went around and then he came up to me the day that people were abseiling off the Boomerang and getting their photos done, and he came up to me at the end of the day and said, you got voted as person least likely to abseil off the Boomerang. And I was like, oh, did I? You don't know me well enough. So I went over and I said, any chance I can do it? And they said, oh, all the things are booked up, but you can go up last. And by the time I went up, the fella taking photos had gone. So I did it. People saw me do it, but I've got no proof that I did it. It's weird because when you abseil off something, you have something to push as you're going down. You have something to rest your feet on. But I'm in midair. There's nothing. I'll post some pictures in here now. Let me stick my finger up so I know where to do it. But there's nowhere to bounce your feet off of, so it was really weird. But that was something that most people wouldn't think I'd do. What else? I can't think of anything that people would think I wouldn't do. Something that would surprise you. The story about Tom Jones is on my other channel if you're interested. It's on Jules voiceover. It wasn't me that turned him down, it was my mother, but it's the same thing. Would I do an advice channel? Maybe I could do an advice segment on my other channel. But I've got 2 at the moment. And Chanel asked if I'd just do a fibro channel. And I honestly thought, as all the videos were called Fibromyalgia Friday, that when you searched fibromyalgia, my videos might pop up. I don't know what you have to do. I might have to go back and change all the tags in them or something. But she said, would I do that? To do that, I haven't got them on my computer anymore, so I'd have to download them all and upload them all, and that, with doing this and doing the other channel and trying to fit in reading books, I doubt if I'd have the time to do it. But what I'll do in the meantime, while I'm recording other things, is I'll go and change the tags on the fibro ones and see if they come up in a search. But to your last question, I've given you 2 links. There's a link to my fibro blog and a link to, what's it called, Fibro Bloggers something, that I was a member of when I was actually blogging, and they do a link up on a Friday and they have whole loads of people that write fibro blogs, so there's bound to be somebody there that you like the look of or does something interesting or helpful. But anytime, ask me anything, any of you. It's like, a lot of people say, oh, you know, I love your lives because you let us talk. Yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to do in a live. I'm not lardy. I'm not going to scream at you for anything. If you want to write 10 comments on a video, I don't mind. It's nice to have the interaction, and please stop apologising for things. Linda Maria, if you had to cast a reality show with 6 people in a house, who from YouTube would you cast? What a clever question. Well, obviously it would have to be Cynthia, Lardy and Lisa. I'd love to watch those 3 circling in each other and see who killed who first. That would be hysterical. Who would I put in with them? God, that would be mean, wouldn't it? I'm on YouTube, so me. I'd go in just so I could see it all firsthand. And who's the other 2? Who else would I put in? Dr. Ramani, who does narcissistic videos. So me and her could just sit and watch them and take notes. Who else? Somebody for a bit of light entertainment. I can't think. Hang on. Let's have a look at, oh, this is, no, I'm on the wrong channel. To see who I'm subscribed to. Who? I can't think. Who'd be the last one? Stephanie Harlow, if she could read me crime stories the entire time we were there. But definitely those 3, because they would kill themselves, wouldn't they? Or each other. There'd be all holy hell would break loose between the 3 of them. That would be great fun to watch, though. Why did I not give you a thumbs up? Thank you, Linda. TX Space Mom. I want to move to England with you. It's been a dream of mine. Will you take this Texas girl? Love your channel, Jules. You make me laugh so hard every time you give a little snort. Thank you. You're more than welcome to move here with me, but I don't know where we'd put you. In the shed in the back garden. There's no room in this house for even us, never mind anybody else. Jan, I'm not doing your surname, Jan. You'll have to share a room with me because I'm coming with you. Us three would have a right laugh, wouldn't we? Yes, you're all more than welcome, but I don't know where you'd stay. Jan, I'd love a Q&A with you. Where would you choose to live if money and health were not an issue anywhere in the world? Also, would you go back to your 20s? Why or why not? Oh, would I go back to my 20s? Only to tell myself not to move from North Wales and the seaside. Because it's a bad move. Stay where you are. Stay unemployed. You'll find something at some point. Just do not move. That's what I'd love to go back and tell myself. If we hadn't moved here, we wouldn't have had the stress we had. I wouldn't have got fibro. My husband wouldn't have broken his back. The children might still have been autistic, but they'd have been autistic by the sea. I don't know why we moved. Well, I do know why we moved. We moved for work because that's the type of people we are. There was no work unless you spoke Welsh, and we didn't speak Welsh. And my son was just at the age where he needed to go into school, and I knew he'd have a hell of a time because he didn't speak Welsh. And there was a little girl in the village who'd moved from Birmingham, I think, to where we were, and she said that if you wanted to go to the toilet, you couldn't go until you asked in Welsh. So that was the first sentence she ever learned was, "Can I go to the toilet, please?" And I thought, oh, I can't put him through that. So we moved here for work, and then my husband broke his back, and with all the stress and everything, I got fibro, and one thing led to another. So, yes, I would go back just to tell my 29-year-old self when we moved there, stay there. Where would I live if money and health were no issue? I love the look of Hawaii. I watched a load of, back in the day, Pink So Foxy. She's Christine Kobzeff now. Her and Michael lived in Hawaii, and it was absolutely beautiful. Or Mauritius. Ah, that's a beautiful place. But to be fair, and this is going to sound really sad, if tomorrow I had the money, I'd go back to Wales. Without a shadow of a doubt. And I would buy a little house there next to the sea, and I would never move again. I love Los Angeles. Jules, can you please give a sample of a Scouse accent as opposed to a Cockney accent? I'd love to hear it. I love them both, but especially Scouse. I'm shit at accents. Absolutely crap at accents. The only thing we used to do in Butlins when it was Scouse Week, we'd all be going around going, hey la, but I can't do a Scouse accent. I can't even do a Cockney accent. The only time I sound Cockney is when I'm around other Cockneys. Otherwise, I've got this sort of middle of the road accent or no accent. It's just a voice. It's like I recorded a book in a northern accent, and I haven't got a northern accent. I did the audition as a laugh because I thought I'll get feedback and I'll hear what they're looking for, and it's all good experience, isn't it? So I channeled my nephew when he was 7 when I first met him, and I had him in my head. He died when he was 30, so but I had him in my head talking to me while I did it, and it turned out that the book was the book was actually published on his anniversary. How weird is that? But yeah, I did that, and it's like I could only do it when I was sort of like in the zone doing it. Can you knock a bit louder, please? Frighten the life out of everyone in the house. I know I've got a note on the door that says, can you knock loud, because the homeowner's hard of hearing, but some of them go really full force with a fist. So yeah, I sort of channeled him, and when I was doing it, I did it. And then he wrote back and he said, oh, that's amazing. You can't imagine the amount of people I had pretending to be northern. And I'm like, I'm not. And he's like, right, you're perfect. I want you to do the book. And I was like, oh crap, I've got to keep this up for a whole book now. I'm never going to be able to do that. But I did, and he was really happy with it. So I have to be with a group of people that speak like that, or I've just got off the phone or whatever with people that speak like that. Otherwise, I'm useless. Absolutely pants at accents. Elizabeth, another question. If you had to spend a year on an island with either Lardy or Lisa, who would you choose and why? There's some replies to that. Lol, that's a tough one. Chat's put Kevin Costner. Definitely Lardy, and some of you might be surprised by that, but Lisa would bore the ever living shit out of me. She's only got enough conversation for a half an hour, and then what would you do? At least Lardy's got a bit of oomph about her. You could talk about different things, but Lisa would drive me to distraction. Christy, love you, Jules. Love you too. Okay, my question is, if you could share a meal with 4 people, living or dead, who would they be? Don't count family members. I was just about to say my gran. Rick Mail for number 1. Victoria Wood. Am I the 4th? Or do I have 4 people and me? Rick Mail, Victoria Wood. Ooh. Who's a... Whom? Harry. I've just seen his picture down there. Mr. Harry Windsor, to get some fucking sense out of him, or to talk some sense into him. So that's 3. And I'm 4. Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. First, you are way too critical of yourself. Thank you. It's a coping mechanism. It was because my mum was always insulting me. I do it now. I get in before anybody else can. I would love for you to do a Q&A. When did you start writing short stories? That story about She's Out, that's the first one I've written. I saw this, there's a website and they give you ideas every so often for a story, and then you write a short story and you put it in, and then you can win $50 or something. Anyway, I came across it. I was looking for stories to read is what I was doing, and I saw that, and the prompt just, it was something about write about somebody who finds a window of time to do something, or something like that. And that just poured straight out, because I was always joking that one night I'll creep out when everyone's asleep and go dancing round down the road and and causing chaos, and no one will know it was me because I'm always in here. I had an idea for another story just before I got sick, so I'm starting to write that, but that was my first story ever. I've got a visitor, hang on. Not sure where I left off there. Just had my husband in with provisions. Coffee to keep me going. I had an idea for a story that I started writing before I fell sick. And I can only write on the laptop, because I hate typing on the iPad. And then when you talk to it, it's all right if you talk to it to do like a comment or something, but otherwise it's like you try and do a long thing and it's like you can't do a new paragraph because it types new paragraph. I don't know how you're supposed to get it to do that, but anyway, I have got one in the pipeline, and Stevie sent me a few more, and at some point any time now I'm going to be recording Chris and her daughters for Audible, so that's next. Do I have a favourite YouTuber? You. There's a few. I love Stephanie Harlow for crime, and I love her and Derek Lavassa together on Crime Weekly. I love the way they bounce off each other. Emma Kenny, she's off the TV in the UK. She's a psychologist. She's done a lot of television work, but like she said, now she's got her own YouTube channel. She can relax and say what she really thinks, and she's not confined to not saying this, that or the other while she's on the television, and she's lovely. She's a lovely woman. Then one of my favourite beauty YouTubers is a young girl in Scotland called Make Me Up Missa, and I like watching her because she's funny. What happened there? Who else? Tina, the fancy face. I like watching her shopping block videos because she tries to block us from shopping and then she ends up buying everything. But for crime, definitely Emma and Stephanie. They're two. And I've just got into this young lady. How do I get rid of that? What's her name? Hannah Alonso, and she does anti-MLM stuff and Poshmark stuff because she sells on Poshmark. But her anti-MLM horror story playlist I started on, and I can't. It was on my other channel, so I can't see. I think I've done about 10 or something of them while I was sick. I was just put them on it because she's got a playlist, so I just put it on and let it play. But if you don't know what an MLM is, you need to go and look at Hannah's channel, and it will stop you ever getting caught up with the likes of Sensi or Mary Kay or all the other nonsense that LuLaRoe that say they're going to make you a millionaire and they never do. And it's the horror stories is the best thing to watch because it's absolute madness what they do. They told a woman who lost her child that had she taken their essential oils, had she been using their essential oils before that, she wouldn't have lost the baby. They're a different fucking breed. They really are. It's like when Lardy was bamboozling and badgering people into buying Sensi. It's like, I don't know what it is. You have to be a narc or something similar and have that sort of frame of mind that you don't give a shit about anybody. All you're concerned with is selling and recruiting and making money. It's horrible. But yeah, if you're on a long train ride or something, she's a great one to binge. Right, so we've got to the end of all the questions. And like I said, if you want to ask me a question at any time ever, just do it. And if you want to do it privately, send me an email to chattoexposed@aol.com. And I am going there now just to check that there isn't any people waiting for a reply and wondering what the hell. So if you've got this far with me, thank you very much. And I will catch you in the next one.